All right, here we go. We are ready to wrap it up. This last part is so easy. We're looking at the big map now, and we're going to go from Maine over to Alaska and finally to Hawaii. So let's look at this. Here is Maine. Alaska is over here, and way out in the Pacific Ocean is Hawaii here. Now, the memory trick for this was Burke at the very end. He met all the kids and said aloha, which, can mean hello or goodbye, but we put hi because the abbreviations. So met, M-E, Maine, A-K, all the kids, Alaska, and hi, Hawaii, H-I. So let's add in some kids here. We've got some new kids that we're bringing in to just go along with this idea of Burke saying goodbye to all the kids. And they're having this discussion, and the roaring brook mayfly says, "Oh, yeah, I remember. We all met in August." And the polar bear is like, no, I think it was in June. And then, of course, this teeny tiny little, let's see, what is she? Monk seal, the baby, says, "Oh, it was June. It was June. I know it was June." And the mom's like, "Oh, hun, Lulu, you might not remember that because you weren't born yet because you're just a baby." So hope it helps you remember that the capital of Maine is Augusta for August, because the mayfly was like, "Oh, yeah, we met in August." And the polar bear is like, no, I think we met in June for Juno. Lulu, of course, the teeny tiny little monk seal, is like, "Oh, yeah, I think it was June too." And mom's like, "Hun, oh, Lulu, I think this was before you were born, honey." So hopefully that will help you remember Augusta, Maine, Juneau, Alaska, and Lulu. Oh, that was funny. Her name is Lulu. She's a little baby monk seal. Isn't she so cute? And that is Honolulu, Hawaii. Not really sure where the name Maine comes from, possibly a province in France. But Augusta came about because this area was once part of a larger town called Hallowell. Well, they split off, named themselves Harrington, and the people of Hallowell were calling it Herringtown after a stinky fish. So they decided to change the name to Augusta. Not exactly sure where that came from. A beautiful name, nonetheless, for Augusta, Maine. Alaska is also a fascinating name. It stems from the natives of the Aleutian Islands, who called this area Alakshak, which means the object toward which the ocean is directed. Love it. That is just too cool. And Juneau, in 1881, of course, the time of gold mining in the area, the settlement ended up being named Juneau after Joseph Juneau, who apparently bribed his fellow miners with alcohol and money, hoping that they would name the settlement after they did. Of course, he took off and left, and the only thing he left behind was his name, which we are very thankful for. So Juneau, Alaska. We're not exactly sure where the name Hawaii comes from, but the name Honolulu is from the indigenous people who lived there way before we ever arrived as colonists. So the name Honolulu, it has been called this for over 2,000 years. It's a beautiful end to a beautiful story about the 50 states. Let's review. Okay, here we go again. We have the roaring brook mayfly in Augusta, Maine, polar bear for Juneau, Alaska, and Lulu for Honolulu, Hawaii.